What's up, everybody? Welcome to Honky Tonk Tuesday. This is such a big one, such one I've been looking forward to. Hope everybody's had a great weekend and a great Monday. We are 1 week closer to this year ending, which I don't really know what that means anymore. I don't think this stuff's going to go away in January, but hey, we don't know. Hopefully it will, but we'll keep our hopes up. But until then, I'm going to be bringing you country music on Tuesday nights. So we got Melbourne, Australia joining us. We got Memphis. Where's everybody calling from? Susan, what's up? All the sassy ladies, what's up? Can't wait for Terri Clark. Well, she is coming. Kansas, Ohio. Teresa, how you doing? Leah, my aunt's on here. My Uncle Phil's on here. Illinois, PA. Awesome. Well, if we got any of our fellow Canadians here, everybody knows that Terri Clark is the country queen of Canada. I don't know if she's ever been called that, but I'm going to see if she, maybe I just renamed. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Eris, what's up? Montreal, we got Australia getting Mississippi. Awesome. Well, hey, I'm going to get right into this because I'm really, really looking forward to this. I don't know if Terri knows this or not, but I opened a show for her in Lakeland, Florida at Boots and Buckles one time, a long, long time ago. And we had a great time. But we'll get into all that. Listen, you're here to hear it hit country music, and I just happen to be the guy with the key. So here we go. Y'all welcome Miss Terri Clark to Honky Tonk Tuesday. What's
and
up?
The crowd goes wild. How are you?
Some of the fake crowd noises.
Yeah, we need to pump that in like they are at the football games. That would be amazing.
I thought about just getting people's, cutouts behind me and get the crowd going. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ring.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm bored.
Yeah.
You can only cook, clean, and watch so much TV before it's time to go back to work. So.
Yeah, I feel like all of us, including, no matter what you do, everybody always wishes for, man, if I could just have one day to do nothing.
Yeah.
And we've gotten those days, but for the last
if I could just have 1 year to do nothing.
If I could just have 1 year. I catch up on everything. It'd be great. Yeah. All of us are like, I got to go.
Well, we were talking actually before we went on here about just how we never saw this actually playing out the way it had. I don't think anybody did, but our industry, the motor coach industry, venues and agents and management and artists and bands and crew guys and lighting riggers and everybody, like trucking companies that carry tour equipment around festival. Like it's just insane how this has dragged on way past what we thought it was going to.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we thought, we'll be back in June, and then, we're going to get some time off in April, and then May rolls around, and then June rolls around, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I better check out the mortgage on the house and see what I can get for that. So
I told my booking agent, I said, hey, man, listen, I don't know if this is a good time to bring it up or not, but you promised me I would never have to splice telephone cable ever again, and I'm going to hold you to it. So let's make sure we get through this year.
But I will say, when you were at my house fixing that telephone cable several years ago, you did a really great job. You were the cutest telephone cable I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah, I thought, man, it's been we were talking, and mine was March. My live show was March. When was your technically same?
March 1st was my last show, and December 1st in Vegas at the Golden Nugget was my last full band show, electric show. But March 1st was the last show I did, and it was with Pam Tillis and Susie Boggess, who are both also 90s country artists.
Yeah,
playing to the theme of your show here. But it's I believe it's going to be a full year before we get to work again, because they're saying it's going to be March before we're back. The powers that be in my world are saying that. So I haven't gone a full year without singing in front of an audience. Well, we just did the Opry. That's one thing that seems to be, trickling in a little bit with protocols in place and mandates and stuff.
And that was when y'all had some fans there, correct? That was the first show with some audience, because I played it when it was there was no audience. Just
me too. Weird, right?
Very kind of. It was like eerie. It was Steve Warner and I were talking about it, and I said, man, it was like you still feel the presence of and the weight and the importance of the Opry and what it is, but you just miss that audience crowd. It's eerie sitting there with just nothing.
It's like having a one-sided conversation, and the Opry is always a little more conservative of a crowd, and I never thought it could get any quieter, but it did.
It takes them out. No noise. I told my dad, I said it was a lot like it was a full circle moment, except it was on the Opry. I started off on a bar stool playing to nobody, but now I was just doing it on the Grand Ole Opry stage.
Truly, it does come full circle, doesn't it? There's a lot of truth in that statement. But we love to play, knowing that there was a camera and that we were reaching people at home who wanted to feel some sort of normal, something that felt familiar to them. So bringing the Opry to them. The Opry's been phenomenal through this, and the way that they have navigated and managed to bring the show. Do you know that the Opry has never gone off the air since its inception, like 95 years?
95 years, yeah.
It's I think one time it did, but it's been a very interesting time, and watching how this has all happened and how many lives it's affected. I think there's silver linings in everything, though. I mean, there, and everyone's talked about the silver linings that can come through this time, but I think everybody's ready to go back to everything. I think everyone has appreciated the silver linings and the tough times in this, and are ready for something normal again. I hope the end of 2020 is the end of it, and that we can.
Me too.
I really do, for everybody.
Me too.
I'm sure you miss your fans, and starting a career out like this, like you're fairly new, and getting your career and your brand and everything that you are launched, it's hard to do that. Ashley McBride's a very good friend of mine, and I talked to her about this. I'm like, I would be losing my mind if I were on my second record and it happened. And you guys are so graceful about it and doing the best you can and embracing it. But my heart goes out to people who are trying, these artists who are just getting ready to launch a big tour because they've just had their first 2 or 3 big hits, and now it's time to make hay, and all of a sudden everything. I can't imagine what, it's hard enough for those of us who've been on the road for years. We do our shows and stuff, but trying to solidify something in the industry right now, it's got to be tough for you guys. Especially.
Yeah, I think one thing I think silver lining wise you said is luckily we have this type of stuff to do, or we have the technology to still be able to get in the studio and send songs out and release songs. I got a new single coming out later this month, and Ashley, working on her second record, and being able to still meet with radio. You know how important that is, but now we're doing it this way, so it's different. There's nothing like one-on-one interaction, especially in music, and that's why live shows are so important, and the concerts are so important, because for that hour or 90 minutes or 45 or hell, even 20 minutes, whatever it is, you can see in the crowd, no one cares about anything else going on except what they're all there together, and I think that's one thing that we're all definitely missing on
the connection
on both sides of it. So I think we just got to make the most out of the situation we're in, and like you said, pray that it all goes away.
Yeah. And and going back to my earlier thought, I feel like if this had happened in 1996, say, or 97, when I was trying to make a name for myself and things were ramping up, but I didn't have platforms like this and didn't have think about the ramifications of not having Instagram. I mean, we barely had email back then, and cell phones were just getting popular. And I don't even know if the flip phone existed in 1997, barely maybe, but I can't imagine going through something like this without the technical aspects that we have now and the things that we have the benefit of using now. And that's, I guess, a good thing. Like you said before, it's good that we have these capabilities now. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Cause hey, when you said 97, when did you sign with Mercury? Cause it was Keith Stegall, right?
Yes.
Brought you. That not brought you. You moved into town. You moved to town and was playing Tootsies.
I moved to town, and I came from Canada. I didn't have a green card. I had no legal way of working, and I was wandering around downtown with my mom and her best friend, who drove me down to Nashville, 2,200 miles from Alberta, and drove me down in a Honda Civic. And I thought I was going to just babysit for cash and do what I could to make some sort of income. And we wandered into Tootsie's because I wanted to see it. I'd heard all about it,
Yeah.
read all about it, and I got up and played and jammed with the guy that was on stage, and he was just a solo act. There were 3 people in there. Lower Broadway, for those of you who have been to Nashville and experienced, Lower Broadway in Nashville in recent years, it was nothing like that in 1987. This is 87, so this was 10 years before a lot of people even knew who I was, and it was a dangerous type of experience. I took the city bus down there. They offered me a job after I got up and sat in with this guy, and his tip jar filled up, and they offered me a gig playing the daytime shift because my mom was with me, and she said, if you play down here at night, you're coming back to Medicine Hat, Alberta. I'm going to come get you, because it was really dangerous. And some of the locals there were like, don't let her come down here at night. Go find her in the dumpster in the alley before you go.
How old were you then?
I was 18.
So you moved right out of high school.
Right out of high school. And I bumped around town for a while, and I always had lots of encouragement from people in town, people like Brian Kennedy and Carl Jackson and, people at ASCAP and Woody Bowles, and people who had been around the industry and players in the industry. But it took 8 years to get a record deal from that point on. And so I waited tables, and I sold cowboy boots at a retail store at Boot Country. The same guy hired Garth Brooks.
I was about to say, was that where Garth worked?
Yeah, the same guy. Ed Smith actually hired me after he hired Garth, and I said, this is just kind of a stepping stone. I'm trying to get a record deal. And he said, normally I would tell you we're full of it, but the last guy who told me that was Garth Brooks. So
it worked pretty well for the last guy.
Yeah, worked pretty well. That's exactly what he said. So it's an interesting story, and eventually one thing led to another, and I kept kind of sitting in at Tootsie's and playing even through that time. And I wound up doing a demo, a very high scale, upper end demo with Brian Kennedy producing it, who is now one of Garth's right-hand men on the road and stuff, but he's also a really talented guy. He wrote HonkyTonk Bar Association.
Oh, yeah.
And I hung out with that crowd, when I was in my early 20s, and Brian produced a really great sounding demo on me and shopped it to labels to try and get me a record deal, and nothing happened. But that tape, as it was then, just sort of circulated its way around town, and it took 3 or 4 years. 3 years after that, I got a phone call from Keith Stegall, my manager at the time did, and he said, I've heard this project that was produced by Brian Kennedy, and I'd like to meet this girl. And Keith Stegall, for those people listening who don't know what he's done, Randy Travis's Storms of Life and all of his records, he produced all of those, all the Alan Jackson hits. And Keith is a traditionalist. He is, all about preserving the tradition in country music and the sound of country music. And he loved my voice because I sang that, especially that project, pure country. So I went in with my guitar and sang for him. And he said, I wish I had time to take you under my wing right now and produce more stuff on you, but I don't have time. And so, and this is after I had been already turned down by every label in town, some of them twice. And I was starting to get really discouraged and looking up where I could get like a degree in dental hygiene or something. I was starting to really think that this was not going to happen. And 6 months later, I get a phone call into my manager, and he said, well, Keith Stegall has now become the vice president in charge of A&R at Mercury Records. And guess who he wants to be, to come in audition? I said, you're kidding. He remembered me. I thought he had forgotten about me, that it had gone way past. And
right.
All this time, I'm in the back of his mind. So he called me in to sing for Luke Lewis, the president of Mercury, in his office. And I was just, I was so scared. It was such a nerve-wracking experience. And lo and behold, they called the next day and offered me a record deal. And, there were some other things going on at the time were really discouraging and not what I was wanting to hear, but that was the phone call I was waiting for. And it finally happened. And the rest is kind of history. We just started working on music. I started co-writing with Tom Shapiro and Chris Waters, we were kind of the magic team for those first 3 albums, and wrote everything on all of them. And really, things just kind of took off. And I found my comfort zone as far as, what I wore and stuff from working retail and Western stores. And that's where a lot of this came in. And I just was like, this is who I am. And I'm from Alberta,
Yeah.
grew up with it. So it just sort of became its own, had a life of its own. So it really, they're fun times to talk about. You know, it was quite a wait and a buildup, and a lot of things happened in between. But I'm so grateful for everything. I wouldn't change a thing about it, as difficult as it was.
Yeah, and it goes to show you never know, especially in this business, where people end up. You know, like
right.
You never know who you're talking to that might be doing something, and then 6 months later they're giving you a call because they just got the opportunity to find somebody like you and finally get behind them. So then comes your first number one with "If I Were You," correct?
Actually, interestingly, "Better Things to Do" went to number 2. That was the first single.
Okay.
And the reason it didn't go to number 1 was because Garth Brooks, there's that name again, had
Garth's always good. We gotta get Garth out of your way. We gotta get.
I know. I'm sure there are a few people who have said that. Pam Tillis and Susie and I have all been knocked out of number 1 by Garth. I think every artist in the industry has. But he had a song called "Every Woman" that I was poised to go number 1, and he just jumped right over me and landed in the number 1 spot. But after that, when "Boy Meets Girl" came out, and there were several different charts at that time. One was R&R, one was Billboard, one was Gavin. So I might go number 1 in Gavin, but not in Billboard, or number 1 in R&R, but not in Gavin. So, you know, I think "Better Things to Do" and "Boy Meets Girl" both went number 1 in one of those charts. I've got a thing up there, a plaque on the wall that says it did. So on the CMT chart, Gavin Country and Network, whatever that was. So yeah, the times have changed. And but "If I Were You" did not go number. I didn't have a number 1, I don't think, until an official Billboard number 1, I don't think, came till maybe my second album or third album. It took a while. But you know what's in a number? Nobody knows. They just know if they know the song or not. I don't get too much.
No, I mean, you got so many songs that people would assume were number 1s, and probably got to 20, but they were just played and bought all over. You know, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
The most. Of course,
did you know that Martina McBride's "Independence Day" only went to number 6 in Billboard, and it was just a career record for her?
I did not know that. Yeah, see, I assumed that'd be a big number 1 song.
Yeah, and I think that's you know where there's the lesson. It's like, do you know it or not?
Yeah.
There are some number 1 songs that were number 1 that I don't think people could sing you 3 words to that were number 1 in the day. They just wouldn't remember them. And then there are others that didn't go number 1 that are like these anthems. So I don't know that it really matters. And I think what matters more than having a number 1 is how long it stays on the chart, how long it takes to fall off the chart, and how much recurrent airplay you get after that.
Yep.
The accumulative airplay matters more than that last 3 weeks that you're vying for number 1 and you get it, and then everybody forgets about it after that. So
well, let's start this with a Terri Clark anthem. What are you thinking?
What do I think? Okay. Yeah. What do you want to hear?
Let's do
this is your show.
Let's do some better things to do.
Okay.
Somebody wrote on here, "Damn you, Garth."
Take that, Garth.
Let's go.
Don't tell me the reason that you're calling. It's to see if I'm alright since you've been gone. 'Cause I know you and I know why we're talking. You wouldn't believe how many times I've done this song, Michael. Well, baby, that was true. Oh. My brother's calling. I could wash my car in the rain, change my new guitar string, holding on just the same as I did yesterday. I don't need to waste my time crying over you. I got better things to do. on, Michael. I'm coming back. Hold on. Oh my God, I don't know what happened. Hold on. Oh God. Ah!
All right, let's see what's happening here. Welcome to 2020. This damn year. I think she's coming back. Hang on. Let's see here. All right, well, hang on one second. This is fine, guys. I happen to know how to play guitar. Not as good, and I don't have many hits, but here we go. Oh, she's back.
Somebody calls and it interrupts everything. Okay.
Hey, we're good.
Well, we could finish this. You want me to finish the song?
Let's do it.
So this is why we need to go back on the road so this doesn't happen anymore.
Exactly. Once in a while, your microphone goes out. That's it.
I don't know how this technical stuff is. I don't know where we got, but I'm going to go start at the second verse. Are you ready? Baby, when I don't have so much going, or quite so many irons in the fire, I'll take the time to miss you like you're hoping. Now I can't afford the effort it requires. I'd love to talk to you, and I miss talking to you. That's right, I got better things to do. I could wash my car in the rain, change my new guitar string, load the heart just the same as I did yesterday. I don't need to waste my time right over you. I got better things to do. Check the air in my tires, straighten my stereo wires, count the stars in the sky. Just get on with my life. I don't need to waste my time right over you. I got better things to do. I got better things to do. Yeah. With a brief intermission.
Hey, you know what? You got to keep them wanting more. She coming back? She not?
My brother never calls me, but he decides to call right in the middle of this thing. And
I know my dad's watching this, so I can say it. My dad, I swear to you, I could have 27 hours of nothing to do.
And then
The
boom.
minute I have a radio interview, it's happened the last 2 days. It happened today with a minute to spare. It was like 9:59. I had an interview at 10, 9:59. Dad, I was like, it happens.
I know, right? Keeping it real. It just seems to be that way. People, and you really want to hear from them because the people the most important.
Right, so you're like, oh shit, I can't answer it.
And then and then it shows up, and I call my brother Sweet Buns because when he was 2 and I was 13 or 14 or 15, he was like my little kid, and I used to carry him around by his overalls. And he was just like a little. I loved him so much, so I just like Sweet. So Sweet Buns pops up on my phone, and it plays the Muppet Show theme, which got even weirder right here. So I'm like, this can't get.
Hey, at least it wasn't Garth again. You know.
I just told way too much personal stuff.
Not on you. You're not called Sweet Buns. He is.
No, he is called, yeah, please nobody call me Sweet Buns. He does not like it, by the way. He's not a fan. He's 37 years old now.
Nicknames last forever. I gotta be careful with.
Oh, Lordy me.
So I want to take it to a day, May 15th, 2004.
May 15th, 2004. Grand Ole Opry.
Steve Wariner and Your Mama.
Yeah. Yeah. The Grand Ole Opry surprised the hell out of me when my mom had been in Nashville visiting. She used to come down and visit she would stay for, 6 or 8 weeks. And she had just left and gone back to Canada. And I'm out on the Opry just playing my normal set. Well, nothing's normal on the Opry. I was nervous. I'm always nervous on the Opry still today.
Right.
But I'm out there playing and they stop everything and these two people start walking out with this sign that has this date on it. And it's my mom. And I just looked at her and went, "What are you doing here? You just left." And then Steve started to talk about, we want to know if you would like to become the next member of the Grand Ole Opry. And
That gives me those with you saying it.
It was huge. And it was probably the most surreal, wonderful moment in my career. I would say that there's nothing that tops that. From somebody who watched Coal Miner's Daughter 1,800 times, and the only scene going through my mind was Loretta getting out of the car in front of the Ryman Auditorium and going, "Dude, it's the Grand Ole Opry." And I'm like, wow, I get to be a part of this for the rest of my life. I get to be, part of this elite family of people who treasure and want to be a part of country music. And I still can't. Honest to God, I still can't believe that it happened and that I get to be a part of that.
That's incredible. That's my biggest goal in my career, and been fortunate to be able to play it about 57 times now. And like you said, you get the same nerves. It's not. I always tell everybody, you never play the Opry. You never just play the Opry. You get to play the Opry. And
get to play the Opry. Yeah.
For that time period, you're not just representing yourself on that circle, but you're representing every boot, every high heel, every instrument, every musician that stood there before us, and you represent yourself and all of them for that 15 minutes or 2 songs or 3 songs. So I always love, and I didn't realize it was Steve Wariner until I was looking it up, and Steve became a good buddy of mine, and it's just such a great guy. So I was like, I didn't know Steve was the one that had asked you.
He did. And what's really cool is that Steve asked me, and I got inducted by Marty Stewart and Connie Smith, and Marty's now going into the Hall of Fame this year, which is so wonderful and so deserved. He's kind of this country music statesman. He's sort of this ambassador.
Mm-hmm.
And the way he has amassed this collection of country music memorabilia since he was a kid, and just sort of, well, there's an ashtray that somebody's going to throw away over at Johnny Cash's house. I'm just going to throw that in my backpack.
Yeah.
Now he's got like
see this one day.
and now he's got like a whole warehouse. It's a museum full of stuff. And I'm so happy to see that. But yeah, I mean, to be asked by Steve and inducted by Marty, who are 2 of the best guitar players we have.
Hands down.
Guitar players, two of the finest guitar players in our genre. And the guitar is an important aspect in what I do, and they're just really great guys. And Connie, oh my gosh, she's so angelic, and her voice. She's one person that can sing. Connie Smith still sounds the same as she did many years ago, and she's just so classy. She's the epitome of class, and she's like an angel. I know things that Connie has done for friends of mine that nobody knows about. She's just kindness and gentleness and full of grace, and I that's the kind of person you strive to be in your life. If you can be like Connie Smith, you're doing pretty well.
You had a reach out from another country legend, according to your Facebook, Barbara Mandrell.
Oh, Barbara, yes, I did. Okay, so this not even 2 weeks ago. It'll be 2 weeks on Saturday. Barbara. I did a cover. The Opry asked us to do a cover of a classic song, as well as a couple of ours or one of ours. And I chose I Was Country When Country Wasn't Cool. It felt fitting being on the Opry in front of an audience after so long, and
Right.
just it's a bit of an anthem, right? It pays tribute to people who stuck to their guns and loved country music, and I really relate to the song. I got teased in high school and asked where I parked my horse. I used to wear the big Reba McEntire belt buckle and T-shirt to school, and called Cow Patty, and people made fun of me because I got to get home and get ready for the CMA Awards, which was like in 4 hours from now. But I had to get the couch ready and the VCR, the Betamax set up, and all of this stuff. You know, and instruct everyone in the house not to answer the phone or let it ring or anything, you know, because it was so important to me. And I lived, breathed, ate, slept, and dreamed country music when I was younger. So Country When Country Wasn't Cool is a song that meant a lot to me. And Barbara Mandrell and the Mandrell Sisters show was a pivotal moment in my, I think, career. When I saw that show, it just set me on a different trajectory, and I got really into Reba and Skaggs and the Judds, and the list goes on, especially 80s country at that time. And so I sang the song on the Opry, and I got a handwritten card in the mail from Barbara Mandrell.
Wow, that's awesome.
I was like, oh my God, talk about full circle. It's just, can you believe this can happen?
That's so cool. That's so cool. What'd she say?
She said, you looked gorgeous and sounded fantastic. I was so proud. Thank you so much. Love Barbara Mandrell. And I'm just like, oh my, I posted it on my Instagram page.
I saw, that's why I was talking to you about it. I want to know about it because I know what it's like, you know, whenever you start being able to become friends with, you know, or just moments like that with people you grew up listening to on the radio, kind of in ways seems untangible, you know, even if you walk by them sometimes at an award show or whatever. And, you know, for me, it's like Steve Wariner or Clint Black. And, you know, I see Clint Black call my phone. I still take screenshots of it and send to my friends. I'm like, that's so weird.
It is. It's surreal. I think, honestly, the very first time that that kind of thing really, really hit me was with Reba. When I got to tour with her in '98, her and Brooks and Dunn, I'd been selling boots at a boot store, in a Western retail store, not far from where she was living at the time in 1992. And, you know, I'm standing at the cash register and I look through the window and her and Narvel and Shelby are walking in. It's 9:00 at night. We're 5 minutes from closing. And she walked in, and I was in her fan club. Like it was a sickness. It was so obsessed with.
Yeah, diagnosed with McEntire.
Yeah, I got diagnosed with McEntire, and it was so crazy. And I talked to her a little bit. I tried to maintain my composure and be professional that night, you know. And then I didn't see her again. But I told her that I was a singer and that I said very subtly, I didn't lose my cool. I said, I just want you to know before you leave this store that you're the reason that I'm in this town, and you have no idea what kind of an impact you've had on my life. And she looked me in the eye and said, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And then she left, and Narvel, let's get in the car.
Yeah.
And then she left, and you know, 5 years later, I get a call that they're asking me to go on tour. And I told her, I said, look, do you remember when you came into boot country and I sold you cowboy boots? She said, sure do. Sure do. No, hold on. I got something to show you. Hold on. I'm in my office. I got all kinds of, you know, show and tell things in here. That picture of Shelby.
Is that
was Shelby. Okay, when they brought him into the boot store, and those boots that are on his feet are the ones that I sold them.
No way.
So Reba gave me this photo and had Shelby sign it when I went on tour with her 5 years later.
That is the best.
That's how much she remembers that I
what a memory.
Sold her boots. And yeah, I mean, so gosh, you've got to dream big and you've got to go after it. It can happen. People have to realize that.
Yeah.
If you visualize things and you really work hard and stay diligent and try to be the best you can at what you do. Because if you're not, somebody else is going to. You know.
That's what my dad always said. My family always said, someone's got to do it. Might as well be you, right?
Absolutely.
Someone's got to go grab it. So,
Yeah.
all right, so what's one of those songs on the Opry that you love to play, whether that's yours or maybe a cover? What's something that you love? Is there something you could play us that you just love being on?
There's so many. Like I could do an entire medley of songs I love. There's a lot of songs that I just grew up listening to. It sure gets quiet when the kids go to bed. We sit here in the silence, putting off what must be said. I read a book, you watch TV, as our love dies silently. I'm so sad I don't know what I just read. Somebody should leave, or which one should it be? You need the kids, oh baby. Somebody should leave, but we hate to give in. We keep hoping somehow we might meet each other again. Somebody should leave, but we hate to give in. We keep hoping somehow we might meet each other again. I also like this one. I may look like a city slicker and a looking machine, but I'd rather be a guitar picker picking out Memphis blues. Show me play by start, find the horse and cart. I'm just a country boy at home. I could go on and on. I love all these songs so much.
I was not expecting Skaggs to be pulled out. That is awesome.
It's fun.
That is great.
I
was sweating for you. I was over here.
It's so much fun.
That's awesome. When I played my opera debut, April 24th, 2015, I looked over. My dad and my grandmother and my uncle were there. My grandmother's in her wheelchair, and my dad was standing in the middle. My grandma's in her wheelchair, and I debuted with my grandpa's old Gibson 335 with my first song, and he had passed away a couple months beforehand. And I just, you know how emotional it is. We're just standing there, and then that on top of it with triple, So I get through Green Green Grass at Home, Porter Wagner's version of that song, and I just happen to look over because I know my dad and them are going to be there. And I look over, and I'm like, "Is that Ricky Skaggs standing next to my grandma?" And he's just standing there. I'm like, how did one of those like those weird moments of the Opry where you're standing there going, I don't even know how we got here, but then then you see that type of stuff happening. So
that's so amazing that if your grandparents and parents can see you play the Opry, that's an amazing gift. That's an amazing gift. And my favorite moment on the Opry was my 88-year-old grandfather getting up and playing fiddle on Faded Love. And I sang Faded Love. It was just an amazing moment. And like you, seeing your family standing up.
Yeah. It chokes me up even talking about it sometimes. It's just a surreal moment, especially with this year being what it's been, everybody not being able to be out, you realize how much you miss it. And like you said, we were talking before we got on how important it is on both sides, that live show, so, but what you got a Christmas record coming out, don't you?
I do. It came out actually September 25th was
Wow.
the official release date.
Yeah.
And we did the big ramp up and pre-orders and all that stuff leading into it. But it's out now, and you can get it on all the streaming sites, and you can also get it Walmart's and Cracker Barrel's going to be carrying the physical distribution as well, and like lots of outlets like that, Amazon Music, and we also released a vinyl record on it.
Nice.
Vinyl record's green, isn't that cool?
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's green. So it's cool. But the thing about the Christmas record that I'm the most proud of is I took a long time to get around to making a Christmas album. It was kind of last on my list of things to do for many, many years because there's so much great music out there.
Right.
So many people have done it right. And I'm like, what am I going to do? Like, I don't know about hiring, the Philharmonic to play on this, but those are the ones that I like the best. They sound great. Or the jazzy organic approach. And we have a group here in Nashville called the Time Jumpers. And I called them.
I love the Time Jumpers.
And yeah, me too. I called Kenny Sears, who's the band leader, and I said, would you guys play on this Christmas album, top to bottom? Like, I want this to be a collaborative effort. This sound that you have is so important to me because it's so classic. And to me, it will do the Christmas music justice and give it a fresh approach. And their arrangements are brilliant and intentional and thought out. And it's not just, let's just go play this song and, we got a track. It was a labor of love, and a lot was put into it. And you can tell when you listen to it. So I'm proud of the music, the musicality that they brought to it and the talent they brought to it. But as it started to take shape, different guest artists started to come to mind. And I asked a few people if they would come and sing on some things. And Vince Gill came in and sang on Silent Night, and Skaggs came in and sang on the only original song on it called Cowboy Christmas. We had the Oak Ridge Boys that agreed to come and sing on Silver Bells. You could hear them in the background on all the answers. Silver bells, silver bells. It was just so, I giggle every time I hear that.
That's awesome.
That's so awesome. And Dierks Bentley sang a duet with me on Let It Snow. And Pam Tillis and Susie Boggess, of course, sang On Away in a Manger. And it was great collaborations, and half of it I'm just by myself singing Christmas songs, but the Time Jumpers made it special.
That's so awesome. So do you just feel like this was the right time for you to do it?
My manager basically said it was the time to do it, and I wasn't allowed to skirt it anymore. He said it's time, and it creates a lot of extra opportunities and things, and you can tour and do different things. I've been doing the same style of touring for years and years, and this would allow me to branch out and do something a little bit different, more of a specified. When that is, when touring returns at some point. So, and a Christmas album is kind of a timeless piece of work in an artist's career. It lasts forever.
Yeah.
The songs aren't going anywhere. They've already been recorded 5,000.
Yeah. Like you said, Silver Bells, you won't do it any different? Put the Oak Ridge Boys on it.
Right. What can I do to this one?
Gag on it.
About right. But the album's called It's Christmas. Cheers.
It's out now.
Yeah. So which is what you're doing, right? You're cheersing.
Get in the holiday spirit.
I left my wine somewhere. It's gone. I'll take it up after we're done, but I left it somewhere in the house.
Well, thank you so much for jumping on here with me. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this. And like I said earlier, we did a show together at a place called Boots and Buckles in Lakeland, Florida. I would have probably been 19 or 20 years old. And that was like the place that got me started.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. And so they would always hook me up with a lot of the national, a lot of the opening slots for the national artists like yourself that would come in. And so I was always getting there early and trying to watch sound check.
Did we meet? I hope I was nice. Was I nice?
You're nice to me. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're nice to me. We're great. We met briefly. That was back when I was like, I don't want to be in anybody's way.
Oh, well, congratulations on everything. I'm really happy for you. And boy, when you're doing a show and somebody's opening, it's a local opener, you just never know what's going to happen with that person. And there's a lot of talented people out there, and the ones who persevere are the ones who just have that edge over everybody else and that determination and drive. And I'm really, really happy for you that things are happening. And I got to tell you, Her World or Mine is a great song. I'm such a fan of that song. So
thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Just keep doing what you're doing, and these are rough times, but it's going to pass, and everybody will get back on track again.
Well, what will you send us out with? What's one to take us home? Continue the Honky Tonk Tuesday through the night. So everybody from here to Australia and Canada hung over.
Well, since we're in the middle of a pandemic and people are stuck in the house together, maybe it should be this one.
Coffee's ready if you want some. I've been up since 5, thinking about me and you. And I've got to tell you, the conclusion I've come to, I'll never leave, I'll never stray. My love for you will never change. But I ain't ready to make up or get around to that. I think I'm right, I think you're wrong. I'll probably give in before long. Please don't make me smile. I just wanna be there for a while. Now you might as well forget. Don't run your fingers through my hair. Yeah, that's right, I'm being stubborn. I don't wanna go back upstairs. I'm gonna keep the word out of the back here. As I'm driving home, you can kiss this. I'll never leave, I'll never stray. My love for you will never change. But I ain't ready to make up, get around to that. I think I'm right, I think you're wrong. I'll probably give in before long. Please don't make me smile. I just wanna be there for a while. Just wanna be there for a while. I just wanna be there for a while.
Woo! Yeah. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Terri. I appreciate
This
it.
is the most fun
Thank-
I have had, and I just, I am wearing pants. I just want everybody to know I'm actually wearing.
Me too, for the first time. And normally, I'll be honest with you, normally I buy basketball shorts underneath here.
The thing about these things is pants are optional.
That's it. I feel like I'm constantly doing my senior photo.
It's going to be hard to go back on the road and have to put pants on again.
It's gonna be hard. That's gonna be what we're all bitching about. I gotta wear pants. Come on.
Yeah, right. I know. Thanks for having me,
Hey,
Michael.
thank you so much. I can't wait to see you in person, and be safe.
You too, and we'll
Thank
see
you
you
so much.
soon.
See you. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Y'all get up one more time for Miss Terri Clark. Y'all don't forget she has her first Christmas album that's out right now. Y'all go get it. Get in the Christmas mood early. That way, by the time it comes, you're already together. You've already been loosened up for the family and all the craziness that's coming along with it. So, hey, I love you guys, y'all. Thank you all for everything. Don't forget, Whiskey and Rain is out. We got new music coming, but it goes to radio very soon. So make sure to get ready to call your radio station. So I love you guys. Can't do this without y'all. I love you, love you, love you. Be safe, be kind, and I will see y'all very soon.